Good morning, afternoon and evening. Welcome to another episode of this sort of mini-series that I'm doing where I will take the AI from Gran Turismo 7 that's quite slow and sort of handicap myself in the races using underpowered and underappreciated vehicles for said events. I've got 3 events lined up and I think you'll find them rather creatively done. And if you like to see more content like this, give a like and a subscribe. The support would be very much appreciated and it will continue me doing this sort of mini-series that I'm doing. And the first race that I did was the Evo meeting race at Kyoto Park. Now you might be thinking that using a stock Evo isn't that impressive in this event. Well, I detuned it down to 230 horsepower around that mark, so I basically underpowered myself against all these cars which are heavily tuned. You're more than welcome to try out these challenges yourself, whether or not you try out these ones or the ones in the first episode or even some custom challenges of your own, just to give the regular Gran Turismo AI a bit of a challenge to them. So not GT Sophie, not the GT7 Power Pack AI, not the Chili Pepper races, just the regular Gran Turismo races where it's a long train of cars and you got to go from the back of them to the front of them. And I'm using this to try and challenge myself to see if you can make these races a tad bit more exciting. And turns out you can, because you don't just blast through all the cars in one lap and then it's just a fest where you're finishing the race 30 seconds ahead. No, it took actually until the last lap for me to catch up to the first place Evo in front of me, which, bear in mind, probably has more than 200 horsepower. Like I said, this thing has been detuned 230 horsepower. These things probably have about 400 or so for the AI, so they were pulling away from me at the straight, but around these long sweeping corners is where I really caught up to them. So the leaders are the ones right in front of me, and I was catching them tooth and nail coming up to the last section of the lap, and I slide through corner there and I managed to get past them. Again, bit of a challenge to do that. This is the last part of the circuit, but it's a good fun challenge to do myself. This is at the end of lap 2, so I managed to do this with 230 horsepower in less than 2 laps, and as you can see, he managed to blaze right past me again, so you're seeing that power disadvantage that I had down the straight, but it was still a really fun race to do. The Evo meeting races are good. I wish there were more of them added because they're just fun events to do for a one-make series race, because the racing's quite balanced because most of the Evos are relatively similar, so there isn't the massive discrepancy like you do, for example, have in the Ferrari challenge. So the next race was a Japanese FF450 race around Alsace, and this Suzuki Swift, yes, it has a wide body kit on it which doesn't really do much, but it has 100 horsepower, nothing more, nothing less, flat 100 horsepower. Also comfort tyres, so it's not like I put sport tyres on to try and make the thing more grippy around the corners. No, it's and it's the short track as well, so I had to use the advantage of the downhill, and what I mean by that is this section here, slingshotting off that hill and not braking around that corner. That was really one of the only places where I could get an advantage on the likes of the DC2 Integra behind me there, that Honda Fit, this Honda Civic in front of me. These cars nearly have about 200 horsepower, so almost double the amount that I've got in my Suzuki Swift. Handicapped myself. It's still a capable vehicle, it's just a bit down on power, so you have to utilise that power a bit more differently. I think in the next episode I might do this race again, but up the ante a bit more to something even less powerful. I'll figure out something in the near future, but I managed to get to the front relatively quickly. I think it was about lap 3, which really surprised me because it's not a very long track. Granted, there isn't a lot of cars, but that's beside the point. And it's still a fun car to drive. It's just a bit slow, that's all. Nothing special. And as we head to the final straight, I managed to win a Japanese FF race in 100 horsepower machinery. Like I said, I'll try and challenge myself a bit more for the next episode, but the final race that I did was this, in a New Zealand Post Toyota Hiace around Laguna Seca, and this is in a Japanese Clubman Cup 550 pp race, I think. Granted, I did upgrade the thing. Yes, I did, but it has only about 210 horsepower, and I didn't make any tuning modifications to it, it was just power. So it was on a not so favorited platform with no handling modifications, just power, and even then the power modifications that I did do, not exactly a lot. I mean, I'm coming up against Z-Cars, Skylines, that's the tuned A86 there, etc. I think there was even a Honda Civic in this race, but I managed to get past the AI. Did have to use a bit of brute force, but I'm in a van, so it's to be expected. And there's the leader right there. I think this is lap 3, like end of lap 2 for the race. So I think this was the final or second to last lap of the race. I can't quite remember how many laps there were in the event, but I did manage to catch up to the leading Evo. This is just a weird sight to see, seeing a New Zealand Post van. There are lots of good designs for the Toyota Hiace in this game. It's just this is the one that I chose, the New Zealand Post van. It's weird seeing this thing manage to outclass an Evo and an NSX, but hey, that's what happens when you add all these sort of weird vehicles to Gran Turismo 7, which I'm not against. I do like driving these weird vehicles and giving myself a challenge, like this one where I managed to win in the Posty van. So that ended up being the second episode of me challenging myself in slower vehicles against the regular AI. If you have any examples that you want to see, leave them in the comments down below, and while you're down in that area, leave a like and a subscribe. The support would be very much appreciated. I like seeing the growth of this wee channel that I have started, and I will see you in the next video. But before I go, that was from a daily reward. Yeah, I guess that was a good way to finish the video, so I will see you in the next one.